The Antikythera Mechanism was discovered in 1901 by sponge divers off the coast of Antikythera, Greece. They found it inside a 2,000-year-old shipwreck at a depth of 45 meters. The device was a corroded lump of bronze the size of a shoebox. No one knew what it was for 70 years. Then X-ray imaging revealed something impossible. Inside the lump was a complex system of 37 bronze gear wheels. The gears had triangular teeth precisely cut at 60-degree intervals. Some gears had over 200 teeth. The mechanism could predict the position of the sun, moon, and 5 planets. It could calculate lunar and solar eclipses. It tracked the 19-year Metinic cycle, the 76-year Callippic cycle, and the 4-year Olympiad cycle. It even accounted for the irregular motion of the moon using a pin and slot mechanism. That specific innovation did not appear again in Western astronomy until the 16th century, 1,400 years later. The level of miniaturization and complexity was not matched until the 18th century when European clockmakers built astronomical clocks. The technology required to cut those gears, dividing engines and precision lathes, was thought to exist only from the 16th century onward. Yet someone built this in 150 BC. Nothing similar existed anywhere in the world for over 1,000 years. The technology was not rediscovered until the development of geared clocks in medieval Europe. The Baghdad Battery is the second lost technology that should not exist. In 1936, workers near Kujut Rabu in Iraq found a 13-centimeter clay jar containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod. The jar was sealed with asphalt. When filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or lemon juice, it produces between 1 and 2 volts of electricity. It was built 2,000 years ago. Experiments have proven it works. Replicas generate enough current to electroplate a silver object with gold. One experiment in the 1970s used 12 Baghdad Battery replicas connected in series. They produced enough voltage to create a visible electrical spark. The Parthian period, when these jars were made, also produced small gold-plated jewelry. Electroplating requires an electric current. If the Baghdad Battery was used for electroplating, it means someone understood basic electrical principles 1,700 years before Alessandro Volta built his first battery in 1800. Koenig, the German archaeologist who first studied the batteries, concluded they were used for electroplating gold onto silver. Mainstream archaeology still disputes this because it would rewrite the history of technology. Damascus Steel was produced in the Middle East from approximately 300 AD to 1750 AD. The swords made from this steel were legendary. They were said to be so sharp they could cut a silk scarf falling from the air. They could cleave through iron armor without dulling. European crusaders encountered these blades in battle and could not replicate them for centuries. The secret was in the raw material. The steel came from a specific source in southern India called wood steel. Iron ore was melted in crucibles with carbon-rich organic material like wood and leaves. The result was a high-carbon steel with a carbon content between 1.5 and 2%. Modern steel typically has 0.5 to 1% carbon. The ingots were shipped to Damascus, where smiths forged them into blades. During forging, carbide bands formed within the steel. These bands created the characteristic wavy pattern visible on the surface. They also made the blade incredibly hard while maintaining flexibility. The forging process required precise temperature control. The steel had to be heated to exactly 800 degrees Celsius. Too hot and the carbide bands dissolved. Too cold and the sword would be brittle. European smiths never achieved this control because it required exact ratios of trace elements in the raw ore. Vanadium, manganese, and other impurities from the specific Indian mines were essential. When those mines stopped producing with steel around 1750, the technology was lost forever. Modern metallurgists have been unable to fully replicate Damascus steel despite using electron microscopes and computer modeling. Roman concrete, or opus cementitium, is the fourth lost ancient technology that modern engineers are still studying. The Roman Pantheon was built in 128 AD. This concrete dome is 43.3 meters in diameter. It remains the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world today. After almost 1,900 years, it is still standing without cracks. Modern concrete structures typically begin deteriorating after 50 years. Roman breakwaters built 2,000 years ago are still intact. Modern breakwaters built 50 years ago are already crumbling. The secret ingredient was volcanic ash from Pozzuoli near Mount Vesuvius. The Romans mixed this pozzolanic ash with lime and seawater. The chemical reaction between the ash and seawater created a crystalline binding structure called aluminum tobermarite. This structure grew over time instead of degrading. The seawater actually strengthened the concrete. Roman concrete also used a hot mixing process where quicklime was mixed directly into the mortar, creating a chemical reaction that produced heat and accelerated the binding. This allowed curing underwater. Modern Portland cement used since 1824 relies on a completely different chemistry. It degrades in seawater, cracks under stress. The Hoover Dam built in 1936 is already showing degradation. The Pantheon built in 128 AD is not. In 2023, researchers at MIT confirmed that Roman concrete's self-healing properties come from the hot mixing process, which creates lime clasts that crack preferentially and then recrystallize to fill gaps. This mechanism was completely unknown until 2023. Greek fire is the last technology on this list. It was a weapon used by the Byzantine Empire from the 7th century onward. It was a liquid fire that burned on water. Ships would spray it from bronze tubes mounted on their prows. The liquid would ignite on contact. Could not be extinguished with water. It continued burning on the surface of the sea. The exact formula was a state secret so closely guarded that we still do not know what it was. Accounts from the time describe it being used to destroy entire Arab fleets. The Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII wrote that it was revealed by an angel to Emperor Constantine I. He commanded that only the emperor and his immediate family could know the formula. The ingredients may have included crude oil, sulfur, quicklime, and pine resin. When quicklime contacts water, it produces heat over 150 degrees Celsius. This would ignite the oil mixture. The addition of niter, found in some recipes, would create an oxygen source, allowing the fire to burn underwater. The weapon was so terrifying that enemy ships would surrender rather than face it. The Byzantines used Greek fire to defend Constantinople in 674 AD and again in 717 AD. Both times, massive Arab fleets were destroyed. The technology remained a Byzantine monopoly for 400 years. After the fall of the empire, the formula was lost. Modern experts cannot agree on the exact composition. Two different teams in the 20th century attempted to recreate it using historical sources. Both failed to produce a liquid that burned on water. One team accidentally set their laboratory on fire. 5 technologies that should not have existed in their time. Each one vanished, leaving only fragments. The Antikythera Mechanism remained unique for 1,400 years. The Baghdad Battery sat for 1,700 years before Volta. Damascus Steel disappeared when its source or ran out 250 years ago. Roman concrete continues to outperform modern concrete. Greek fire burned itself out of history. What does it say about our own civilization that we cannot recreate them today? Comment below with which one you think is the most mysterious.